Hey there, it's Pablo Martinez with another video. I'm going to be giving a short demo or a tutorial on Nearpod. So Nearpod, I know a lot of teachers are using it. I know a lot of teachers don't know how to use it but want to use it. So I'm just going to give a short tutorial. I'm not a huge expert on it, so I know other teachers might be a little bit more knowledgeable on Nearpod. This is just a training for teachers that might need some help. So if you want to continue watching the video, that's fine. If you have any questions, leave a comment or, send me a message through my Google Voice or through the tech support group or however, or through email, however you want to message me. Like I said, this is just a short tutorial, very basic. That way, if there's teachers out there or people that want to use Nearpod, you have some a little bit of basic knowledge, and you'll learn as you grow. That's how I always think about it with when we look at technology. All right, so when you come to Nearpod, it's real simple. You can literally just Google Nearpod. It's also available as an extension. So it takes me automatically to Nearpod here. This is what would maybe come out if you're a teacher, you go here. If you're a student, you'd go here, or this would come out as well. So there's two ways that Nearpod would show up. So there's this way for teacher login. This is for student login. Okay, my students, I have it linked like this. That way, when they go here, they just put the code and they just log in. But we'll get into that in a bit. Okay, so for teachers, it's free. There are some things that you do get charged for, but that's if you choose. Those are for the advanced features that Nearpod has, and we'll get into those in a bit. And like I said, you can also get it on your app extensions. That way you can have it sent through Google Classroom as well. So Nearpod, right there. I already have it there. You just add it, and it comes out here. I have it right here. So if I was to open it here, I could have it set up and have it linked to my Google Classroom. Actually, let me uninstall it so later we can go through it, and that way I can show you how it works. Okay, so let me show you how it would work if you were here. So if you were here, it's your first time, you would either go here or go here. You just click on it, and it's going to ask you to log in with your Google account. So you would go here with sign up with Google. I'm just going to put mine. It should just take me directly to the one I already created. So it would just ask you to sign in with your account or with your password. We're using our district password. Hopefully, eventually, the district will buy us Nearpod. I don't think they will because it's a very expensive application. But if they do, it'd be great. I hope they do. But fingers crossed. So when you start off, let me move my face out of the way. When you start off, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see your library. You're going to see these things here. And then you'd see your lessons. Yours is going to be blank. You probably would have this here. All right. So Nearpod has a bunch of stuff you can do. You can look up lessons like for math. Let's see on your Nearpod library. Like let's say you go here. So you put math. You put what grade level you'd want. I chose the wrong one by accident, but yeah, you can choose these here. And you could take a look at the different types of lessons they have. Like, let's say this one right here. So this is something that a teacher already created. And you can preview what they're talking about here. Okay. And, it has a quiz for them here. So you would read the passage here. Okay, like whatever information would be here, you'd go next, and then it would ask you a question about what you were going over before. So here it says, how many quizzes would Allison take in a total of 8 weeks after class? So let's see. There was some information about that. I just skipped through it. So yeah, basically whatever you're presenting or whatever you're teaching, you can ask a question about it. And there's different ways you can ask questions or interact with the kids. I'm just going to guess on here. And then you can continue. Okay, so here is basically the answer that the teacher put. Then they would ask another question, and then so forth. I'll show you the student version for one of mine, but as for now, like I'm just showing you a brief thing. So if you were to like what this teacher created, you can actually add it to your library and you can use it. So it says successfully added to the library. Okay, so you would go back over here to right here. You can click right here where it says Nearpod. It brings you back to the library. Here's the one that the teacher created. You can go live participation with Zoom. We don't use Zoom, so you just click live participation or student pace. So live participation would be like you and the students either in the classroom or online participating live. You would click here, you would give the students a code, and they would go at the pace of the teacher. You can edit, like let's say you got this from online, you can actually edit it. Okay, so you're about to download and edit a lesson. So here, you can either make a copy for yourself or edit the lesson. Let's try editing the lesson. Duplicate means you just make a copy of what you're doing. Okay, so that's what I would do if I was going to use it for multiple different classes. Okay, so here it's bringing me here. Here, I could edit stuff I wanted or stuff I didn't want it. Maybe I think it's too long, so I could click here, and put delete. Let me see if I can put multiple. So if I put control on my keyboard, I can control multiple of them, and I can delete slides. I'm not going to delete because I don't want to go through that mess. Or I can add slides. So maybe somewhere here, I can add a slide, and then here's some different slides you can have here. Like you can add a video. You can use Google Slides, something Web Connect, use something from the internet, Nearpod 3D, simulations. We'll try to go into all of them. I don't use every single one of these. I make it very simple. Or you can use activities, which is time to climb, open-ended question, matching pairs. This is more of what I would use just to keep it simple for the kids. Like I would use time to climb just to make it fun, open-ended question. They just type their question. Sometimes I do use matching pairs. You match the pair of whatever you're talking about, or quizzes. Sometimes I use Flipgrid. Fill in the blanks I try to use, but I see like right now the kids are having a hard time like filling in the blanks with the laptop because you have to grab and drag. Polling, I do try to take polls. Like I just put how you're doing. They put good, bad, okay, and you can see the poll. There's a collaboration board, draw it. I use draw it sometimes, and memory test. I don't use memory test that much. But anyway, you can add to this presentation. Now remember, this presentation was already created by another teacher. Okay, so that's if you want to do that. You just click on the bottom where it says save and edit, and we'll go over that again later. I'm just trying to get through this so we can go into other things. Okay, so it's going to save it for you. Now, if you don't want your Nearpod anymore, you don't like this one, you can just click here and put delete. So I'm going to delete this one because I wouldn't use this in my class. All right. Let's get into the important part, like what everybody would really want to use Nearpod for their own class, right? Maybe you have a lesson with a bunch of material and you want to use it for your class by using Nearpod. So this is what you could do. Okay, so basically, well, let me show you what I have made. Okay, so this is what I made with my kids already. Let me go ahead and put live participation. So if I was to put live participation here, let me make a duplicate, or let's use this one. So if I was to put live participation here, it would give me this class code. Okay, let me copy this code. And let me go ahead and log into the student demo. That way y'all can see how it would work. Let me go to Nearpod. So even though I have my student demo working, I don't like me myself, I don't need as a student. Okay, let me correct myself. If I was logging in as a student, I really wouldn't need the my email. Okay, I could just log in. Look. So it's going to take me in. It's going to ask me for my name, so I'd put here, I'll go with that. And I could put a nickname if I want. I tell the kids to put a nickname, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So this is what you're going to see. So the students are here, and they're waiting for the teacher, okay? And let me go back to my teacher view. So here, I'd be waiting for my kids, and I would log in here. So here you can see how many kids are participating. You would click here. So I have 1. You would wait for, if you have 20, you would wait for all 20. And then when you're ready to go, you just click X, and then you go ahead and start. It's really simple. Like the students are waiting for you here, and as you can see, since it's Live participation, they can't do anything. They have to wait till the teacher goes. In a self-paced, they can go on themselves, and we'll talk about self-paced in a little bit. So here I'd click next, and if I was to see this as a student, actually let me do this on my dual list, or let's. Right, so I split the screen. So here's the teacher screen, here's the student screen. All right, so on the teacher screen, you can move it back and forth like this. And when you move it, it moves it for the students. The students cannot go back unless they're on self-paced mode. And I'll show you self-paced mode later on throughout the video. But this is when you're with your students presenting live. So here you would read off your slide or your presentation, and the students would just follow along. The only downside is, if I'm pointing over here, it's not going to point for the students. And some teachers might say, well, why can't I just do that on Google Slides and just present it on Google Meets? Well, you could do that, and that's great, but Google Slides does not offer this option right here, which is a live questioning, interaction. It's asking, you can ask questions right there, and the students can respond, and you can get data. Google Slides doesn't offer that. Google Slides works with Nearpod. I'll show you how that works in a little bit, but on your Google Slides, if you're just presenting slideshows and you want to ask questions, the students can respond virtually instead of like on the microphone or like having to type out the answer on the chat box. You'd get your responses here. So like, I would ask this question here, the students would answer it, they put submit. I'll just wait a little bit. Sometimes it just take a little bit depending on the internet connection. You could just click the screen to see if it would upload. Okay, and here I have 100% correct. If I had gotten it wrong, it would show how many got it wrong or who hasn't answered. And it shows your students by name. If you don't want to show the students, you could click here to hide the students if you want to be confidential, because you would be presenting this up here still. All right. So yeah, that's one part. So when you continue, it'll go on to the next one. You read, the next one you read, and then here's another example. So this one is not a quiz, or it doesn't have a multiple choice. It's open-ended. So it says, what is death rate? What's the definition of death rate, basically? So the students here would explain what death rate means, and then you would get your response here, like, sorry. Okay, so then I get my response back here, and like I said, depending on the internet connection, it will go fast or slow. So it will go in, and then this comes out here. And also you get your student's name, and if you don't want your student's name to come out, it'll hide it, and you just see the response that they have. And you just continue. There's another open-ended. Let me show you some more. This one's another quiz that I created, and I'll show you how I create these. I'm just showing you, the different options that you have here. So like I said, I created this on Google Slides, and then I uploaded it to Nearpod. So that's why it looks like a slideshow or a PowerPoint. Let's see. This one's a poll, so you can take a poll. There's another one here called matching. So here you would match, like let's say if I match these two, these are not correct. And it would tell me over here. So 2 out of 2. Actually, I did get them correct. So yeah, if it was incorrect, it would tell you. Like, let me see if I can try that again. Yeah, so if I got it incorrect, that would be it. See? Yeah, and then this one, which was another open-ended. All right, so that's how that would work when you present to the students. Now let me show you how would you create a Nearpod. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit out. And what's also great, like let's say you run out of time, it's gonna ask you want to save this session for later. You're gonna put yes, because if you put no, then it's not gonna save it for you. It'll just stay here. But if you put yes, it'll save your progress. All right. And when you open up that one again, it's going to ask you, this lesson has an active session. Do you want to resume? You put yes. It only does that for like 30 days. Yeah, so like after 30 days, it'll erase the session. Like information will still be here, but wherever you left off, it'll like take it off. All right, so let me show you how you would create a Nearpod out of scratch. So you can either create a Nearpod lesson here, not like these are different because I created them on slides, but you can create a lesson on here just out of scratch. So when you open up this, it has this layout for you. So you would add a slide. These are Nearpod slides, not Google Slides, and it gives you an option of what kind of information you want to put on there. So maybe you want to put a video, or maybe you want to put in an activity. You can put one of those. So how would you do that? You would, let's say like you want to show a video in the class. You click a video, and it's going to ask you if you want to use one of the videos here on Nearpod, if you want to use a video from YouTube or a video you uploaded. Let me find one in YouTube, like this one right here. Let me copy. Like what you do is you copy the link. Hang on. You come back, you would put your link here, or you could just put the title of the video, but it's better just to copy the link. You search, there's the video I was looking for, save. So here is your video. The kids would watch the video. You can actually add activities inside the video. So you could put either an open-ended or multiple choice. Those are the two, because remember, you're using the free version. If you had the paid version, if you got the deluxe or whatever, it would give you more options. So you can add questions that were on here. Depending where you stop, like if you put in the beginning, it's going to put in the beginning. So let's put a question like, let's go ahead and put a question right here. Let's put a multiple choice, and we put so let's go ahead and save. Oh, and you need to choose, yeah, I forgot to put, you need to choose something. So this would be the correct answer. Okay, so you see that right here, I'm controlling it to go forward and back. Right here, once it gets to here, it would ask that question. Let's put it here. No influence over the rural areas. And once it gets to that part, let's see. It stops, and it's going to ask the kids a question. Okay, let's put it together real quick. That way, and let me put another question over here. That way we can have some more. So open-ended. All right, so here we go. There's another question. And like if you want to edit your question, like let's say you want to change it, you can, click on the dot, then click right here in the pencil where it says edit. Okay, when you're ready to go, you would put save. So you can add other stuff, like if it's just the video, you can put the video. If you want to add other things besides just the video, you can. Here is slides. So here you would add, like if you were doing a PowerPoint on here, and you can change the background if you want. Me, I just do it on Google Slides because it's easier for me. I'm not really comfortable using the Nearpod slides. Go and save and exit. And like it's like if you don't want a certain slide, like let me finish letting this load. So if you don't want a certain slide, you click on it, and then you can put delete. You can convert it to draw, or you can make a copy. But if you don't want it, just delete it. You can also, use a web connection. So there, students will see. Please note the Flash Web will not work on iOS devices. Remember, some websites might be blocked by your school. So here you can put a website that they could look at, and then when they come back, they answer questions. This one I wouldn't recommend, because like it says, like if they're using their phone or something like that, then it's not going to let them. There's Nearpod 3D. I've never used this one before, but it's pretty nice. Like let's say you're teaching something about the plant cell. Let's look at it together, because like I said, I've never used this one before. Let's put save. And save and exit. Let's put 1. So I've never, like I said, I've never ever used this one before. It looks very interesting to me. Let's go back and edit that one. So you can do that. You can also use simulations, I guess. So here you have different types of simulations on here for mostly math and science. So let's say you're on math. Here are different things you can choose to work with. And then we have web field trip. Let's say, so this would be like a 3D field trip. You can type here like different things and see what you get. Let's try the Great Wall of China. And then BBC videos, that's just like your news videos. You can put that there if you want the kids to see it, depending on what you like. Like say I teach history, so I choose federalism over Democrats. So there's that video there. And then we have Sayway. I don't know how Sayway works, but let's try it out together. Add a Sayway. Okay. And then slideshow. You would upload a slideshow basically. And then you would put your questions on there. Audio. You would upload like a video or like some music or whatever. And then your PDF viewer, you can upload your PDF. Let's see if I can upload a PDF here. Let me find something that I can post that I'm not. Let's try assignment number 4. Okay, let's go ahead and preview how this would look for the students. So here, like I said, you watch the video. When you get here, I would ask them a question, they would answer it. And then it would answer this one. Okay, and right now we're on preview mode. We'll see the student mode in a bit. Alright, so there we go. Next. Here I guess you could talk about the cell, and then you ask questions on the next slide about it. Here is your simulation. And I guess it wants you to work with some sort of weight. Like I said, I've never used this one because I teach history, so I wouldn't know, but there's different types of things you can put on here. Let's see if we take this off. Okay, so just messing with weight, I guess. And here's your virtual trip of the Great Wall of China. And if you had VR glasses, you would click on the entire VR, or you click exit. Next. Then here would be a video on Federalist versus Democrat.
During President Washington's first term, the debate over the financial program of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton.
Okay, and then here. Let's see, this cookies outline. So let's see how this would work. Oh, okay, you would scroll down and it gives you information. It's pretty cool. Like I said, this is the first time I look at this part. I mostly use it for slides. But yeah, this is cool. You can look at this. Now let's close this. And let's go on to the next one. Okay. This is This is some of my wife's work for college. Yeah, so this this is the PDF file that was on there that I uploaded. So let's close the student view. Okay, so now we added the content you would usually teach. Now we're gonna add the questions. Now I know for the video we already put some questions, but let's go ahead and add questions to like here on Nearpod or simulation or stuff like that, or the Nearpod 3D. Sorry. So let's go ahead and put add, and let's put activities, and let's put like an open-ended question, and then here we put. Let me fix that. What is this? Save. So that one's going to come out down here, but I'm going to want it here next to the Nearpod 3D because I want to ask questions. Like, let's say I'm a science teacher, I want to ask questions about this plant cell. I'm just putting a few questions that way. I don't want to make this video too long. Let's go ahead and go to this simulation right here, and let's say we want to ask some questions about the simulation. So we go to activities, and then let's go ahead and put a poll. So let's see, like we want to see if like this helped the students. So they would either put no or yes. And here you don't need to click on like a right or wrong answer because we're taking a poll. Okay. So here we put yes, and then we put it here next to simulation. And like I just set it up this way because that's how I wanted to. You can go back and forth. Like let's say you can add a content, and then when you add the content, you add an activity, right? You don't have to do what I did here. Field trip, here we could put something else for activities. There's a bunch of activities on here. You can use Flipgrid, memory test, fill in the blank, a bunch of stuff. I'm just keeping it simple. It's here. There's also time to climb. That's a little game they play. So yeah, you can add all your content on here and then add activities as well. That way the kids can be interactive in learning. Alright, I've put a few. I don't want to go too much because this video is already over 15 minutes and I don't want to go longer. Alright, so we already have up to there. This is 16 megabytes. So let's go ahead and save and exit. So we have that Nearpod ready here. So let's wait for that to open up. So this Nearpod is ready. You can also rename it. Like I didn't give it a name, so you can put a name for it here. Like I put 1, but you can change it to something else if you don't like the title of that there. Okay, so it's ready to go, and let's put save changes. And what you would do next is either you could put live participation like I just showed you, or student paced. Let's go ahead and try student paced for this one. So remember, student paced means that it's on their own. Your student pace is valid for 29 days, like basically a month. All right, so that means that they have up to a month to do it. You can change it if you want. Like maybe you want to go a little bit further. Apply. So now it's 39 days. 33 days. So you can make it all year if you want. You just need to mess with the calendar. So let's say I want it up till November 30th. So now I have 94 days to complete this student pace activity. So this we can use for like asynchronous days. That way, students can read and work on it on their own. That way, you don't have to just give them a paper or a assignment or something like that. They can work on this. So let's go ahead and put student pace. So student paced, you would have to also post the code for them. So how you would do that is you'd open up student pace, and then here you put share the code, and you can either copy and paste it and put it on your stream on Google Classroom right here. Let me open up a Google Classroom real quick so I can show you. Let's see. So here, this is my demo account. So you would just copy and paste it here. You can copy this and paste it, or you can share the link, copy, add link, paste, and there it is right there. And put like, or let's put code. And what the students would do is they would click here. It would take them in. And they would just, put their name. Since they're already logged in through their Google Classroom account, it'll put their name on there already, like mine was already there. Another thing you can do is if you connect Nearpod to your Google Classroom, which you can do this. Mine's already connected. It's just going to ask you to sign in and all that, and it's going to ask you to choose a class. And let me choose my history demo. It's going to ask you an action. What would you want for this to do? So you can put it as ask a question, make an announcement, create material, create an assignment. So maybe I want to make it as an assignment, so I'll create an assignment, go. And here it has the assignment. Here I would put a title for my assignment. I'm just going to put code just to put code, and then I'm going to put assign. I can also assign it to my other classes as well. But remember, you're not going to want to assign the same one to all the classes because maybe you're doing something different with another class. Maybe you want it at a different pace or whatever. So I would make multiple ones of the same one depending on what we've covered, So I'm going to assign it just to my history class demo. I'm going to put assign. And you can view it as well. So when you open it up, you go to class assignment. Let's see. It's under code. What I didn't do is I didn't put it under a topic, so I should have done that in the beginning. So I'd probably put it under an assignment right here. So right here, I would open this up, just click on it. As a student, I would just click on it. It would take me in. And then once I'm ready, I'd put join lesson. So here on student pace, now as a student, you can move on your own. So like, let's say I press play and I get to this video here. It says what's going on. I would type what's going on in this video. Or if I go here, it says what have you learned, something, nothing, I would go here. And yes, the students can go back and forth controlling it. But like you as a teacher, you would have to look at your data, see the responses that they're putting. That way you can know if they're actually watching the video and putting the right answers or just putting whatever. So we put next. Here, they go ahead and look at this here. And like I said, if you put this in live, you can be talking about this while moving this around. But if it's student paced, well, they'll just be looking at this all around here. And let's say you already talked about this in class. And then you put this here for them to look at it, and then you go here, and the question would be, what is this? Well, the students would explain what it is, and then they would put submit. You get your response. Okay, so let's move on. So here would be the activity here. The kids would use this, whatever instructions you put for them to use, and then over here is your poll. And they would put yes or no. Let's just put yes just for the sake of putting yes. Then here is your VR trip. I didn't add any questions here just to move on. Here's another video. And then here's your Sayway. You would have to teach the kids that they would scroll down to get information about all this. Like here is some other information. Let me put it back. So location. And then close. So here it tells you where it's located, signification. Here's the signification, talking about it. Origins, it tells you the origins of it, of the Leaning Tower of Pisa and all that. So this you would have to train your kids. This I would probably not put for student pace. I just put it here so we can look at the student pace. Okay. Here is some more stuff. Go down. They're done. Reports. So here they can create and share an interactive report. They get started. But here you would have to have a Microsoft account, so we wouldn't use that. So you would just tell the kids to, go through there. Maybe add a question over here, not here, but you would add a question after it asking what did they learn or stuff like that, you know. Here you would put like if it's a PDF, you would put your PDF document. Maybe it's an assignment or something you want them to look at. Then you would put over here a question for them. And then here we're at the end, so it says start. Press tab to start over. Brings them back to the beginning. Okay, open Note Navigator, takes them like all the way through over here. And if the students want to log off, they could just go to main menu and they exit. And it says, are you sure you want to leave this lesson? You put yes. Okay, so to get the data, you go here. Like, so you can see how the kids are doing. You click there and go to reports. And has a report for you here. You click here. And it shows you, you know, the polls, the open-ended. I didn't write anything. Participation was at 50. And it shows me here. So participation would be like your grade, your poll would be your grade, your open-ended would be your grade. So you'd like tally them all together, depending how you want. You can also, let's go back. It shows you there, but you can also download your data. So let's say you want to save it for later. You can export it to a PDF. You can put it to your Google Drive or local drive. Let's put it to my Google Drive. That way we can take a look at it. Let's see where I would put it. I'll put it on this one right here, just because I don't use that one that much. And then when I go to my Google Drive, it's under my Pear Deck. I don't use Pear Deck that much, but I'll make a presentation on it later. It's here on my recents, so I can see this here. So this is what I created, not my data. So this is what I created, basically, and you can go through it and see everything you've created. That way, you know, if you want to just print it out later, that way you can present it in class in case you're not going to use Nearpod for that day or whatever. But to get your data to download it, you know, you click here, and then you would click either share or download. Let's put download. It asks you what you want to save it as. Let's go ahead and put session view. And let's try local. Let's see if it'll open up here. Yes. Okay. So here it is in PDF form. Paulo Martinez, poll 100%, QER 0. So it shows you how much I participated. So that's session view. Let's close that. And let's go and put download session view, session view. Let's put student view. And then you would choose the students, you would download it. Let's put it on local. And it shows how I did overall here. So here's all your data for that. This is great for, like I said, you know, synchronous days when we're doing it together, or asynchronous when you want them to do stuff on their own. You know, you can either, you know, give them like a shorter, watered down version for asynchronous just to see how much they've learned, or you can, you know, if you're behind, you can assign it for synchronous, asynchronous. That way they can go ahead and finish up where you left off. Okay. You can also do it on Google Slides. So let's go into that real quick. You don't have to open it through here, but there's this one way you can do it. So this is how it shows you how you can use it on Google Slides. All right. So, and you don't have to go through Nearpod to do this all the time. You can just open Google Slides on its own. So let me show you. So let me say I want to open up my Google Slides to work on Nearpod on Google Slides. Because this is how I do it all the time. Let's say I want to make a new presentation, open up my presentation, and I want to, and it's my first time ever using Nearpod, but I want to use it here on Google Slides. What I'm going to do is I go to add-ons right here, and I have Google Slides here, I mean Nearpod here, but let's pretend I don't. I'm going to go to get add-ons, and you're going to download Nearpod. Okay, I have it here. Yours would say to install or whatever. You can either click here or click here. and it opens up, and it's going to ask you to get extension. I would click here to get an extension, and it's going to download it here as well. Close this once it's downloaded. Once it's downloaded, let's say you wrote some information here, or you want to add something here. So let's say that you want to put some questions. What you would do is, you would add your information, then add the question. So let me actually open up a slideshow I'm working on with Nearpod. That way we can work on it together, or like not work on it together, but you can see exactly what I'm talking about a little bit better. Okay, so let me open up this, and I was working on this one right here. Okay, so as you can see here, I was working on this. Okay, here's some questions, and then this is what it's going to look like for you as a teacher when you're creating it. So let's say, let me go down, let me find one that I haven't done yet that I would actually want to put here. So here we're talking about urban and rural, okay? So let's say I want to ask a question about urban and rural areas. I go to add-ons, I go to Nearpod, I put open Nearpod. When I put open Nearpod, this right here pops up. Okay, so this is your Nearpod. When it's a new lesson, it's gonna come out like this. It's not gonna come out like this. Instead, since I'm working on this, it's gonna ask if I want to edit the lesson since I am already working on it. So I'm gonna put edit, because you can come back and edit your lessons and add it again. Okay, so right now I'm editing a lesson I was already working on. But if it's your first time, this will pop up. Okay. And these are your options of activities you can do. So let's say urban and rural areas. I want to ask a question about this. So what I do, that way I remember my question. I copy this here, and let's say I want to ask an open-ended question. Like, let's say I want to ask, like, what's the difference between urban and rural areas? All right, so like once it loads, it brings this up here, and you would like put your question there. I copied and pasted it, but anyway, this is the question I would put. What is the difference between urban and rural areas? And so after you finish typing that out, you put save, and it saves it for you here, and it's right there. And that's the question it's going to ask. Sometimes it does come out, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the type of question you ask. Let's see what else. Let's see. What else can we ask? Yeah, it's because I don't want to go through all of this. So yeah, there's your other questions that you can ask. There's a time to climb question. So time to climb, it's a game that they play. Let's see. Let's see if we can ask a question with something like this here. Okay. So let's say you want to play a time to climb game with your students. That way they don't have just question after question after question. It still has some questions, but it gives them an animation. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so here I'd probably ask, how much land would cover the Earth? And the answer is 30%. So here you would put your answer here, you put a different answer here. And you can add more and more and more. I'm just going to put 2 for now, just because. And you can actually put an image if you want. But I'm not going to do that. But you can put an image, if you want to put an image as an answer. You can also put an image as a question as well. Okay, and you can put a time limit. Me, I'm not going to put a time limit at all because I don't want to rush the kids. Okay, wait, time to climb, you have to have a time limit, but I'll give them like 40 seconds. Okay, and then you put save, and you can add more questions. Okay, so I have a lot of questions on here already, so let's go ahead and look at how those new questions I put on there would look. So I'm going to go back to Nearpod, and let me put split screen here, and let me open up an incognito window here. Okay, and then Nearpod, and I'm going to log in as a teacher here. So once you log into Nearpod, it usually saves your information. It has it there already set for you. And right now it's saving my information, and it's asking me to save. I'm going to put save, and it's going to start saving the slides I just finished, because what I was supposed to do here is put save and go to Nearpod. When you do that, it'll save it for you. So see, right now it's saving. This was the one we were just working on right now, and you just give it a little bit so it finishes saving. Okay, so it already finished loading. So once it finished loading, it's going to look like this. When you put your mouse, you can either put live participation with a Zoom meeting. We don't use Zoom. Well, I don't. But if you do, you can. It's at a beta level right now, so they're still working on it. And they have live participation and student pace. We already went over student pace. So if it was live participation, when you click here, it wants me to resume. So yeah, let me put resume. All my updates still come out even though it says resume. This is the code you would give the kids. If you wanted, you could send it, like I showed you earlier, as a assignment, and you just tell the kids to go look at the assignment. Or let's say you're on Google Meets, you can share the link right here, and then you can go to a Google Meet meeting. I have one open right now, and then I could just paste it here and send it. Okay, so that's going on right now, but yeah. Anyway, so you can send it in, the kids just log in, but if you don't do that, you can just do what I'm doing. Usually what I do is when I open it, when I go tell my kids to log into the classroom, let me show you real quick. Let me sign into my student account real fast. Alright, so here is my student demo. So when I go to classwork, this is what my kids would be looking at. Like when I tell them, okay, go to your virtual class. So I have it, I made them my virtual classroom so I can make it easier. Let me go to a day with Nearpod. So on Mondays, we usually do Nearpod in the morning. I just tell them to click on the picture. You click on it, it sends them here. And then either they look at the screen, like they come back to Google Meets and they look at the screen and they get the code, or I put it in their chat box. So paste, and here we go. And again, you know, we just choose a name, and here we go. So see, now I can control my slideshow like this. So this was on Google Slides using Nearpod, and then I had shown you earlier how to just create it on Nearpod without using Google Slides. So those are those two ways that you can do it, you know. Me, I prefer to use it on Google Slides because I already have a lot of the PowerPoints. I just convert them to Google Slides, and then once I convert them, I just go in there and then add different questions through Nearpod, and you know, that way I don't have to be counterproductive and reinvent the wheel. So if you have PowerPoints, just convert them to Google Slides. It's real easy, and then you know, if you want to use the Nearpod app, you can, you know, download it the way I showed you. That way you can be able to put these interactive questions. And this is great. I think that as a school and as a teacher, all of us should be on board with using Nearpod because, one, it's live interactive. You know, right now we're face to face, and it's kind of hard to like communicate with kids on the microphone. And you know, like you have to do it one at a time, and also, you know, kids using the chat box, like you don't see everybody using the chat box at the same. You know, one kid might not put something in the chat box when you ask him a question, and you won't know because you know, we have so many kids sometimes. Like one class I have 20 some kids, so I won't be able to see all the responses. And on Nearpod, I can, because like I showed you, like if I wanted, like here's from one of my classes, I can just get the data from that class, get a report, and I can see who was, participating. So here it shows me who was participating. Here this kid was getting 50% of it correct. Well, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. But open-ended, he got it 100% match and so forth. And me, I just tell them as long as you're participating, you do get a good grade because, participation does count for a lot in my class. I know that they're not always going to get it right. Some of the questions they might get it wrong. But like I said, you can see here that the kids are participating. If they're not participating at all, well, they get a 0. You know, so to me, it's awesome. I think that everybody should use Nearpod, but it's your preference. There's another website like Nearpod called Pear Deck, and I'll make a presentation on that one later. And that one's like Nearpod, just a little bit more limited. But I'll put some more videos on Nearpod as well from other teachers around the United States that are using Nearpod, and also on Pear Deck. But I hope that this tutorial helps out, and if anybody needs help, please let me know. On my, let me open it up, on the Google Classroom for the tech support. Once again, if you need help, there's ways of contacting me, and I'll show you real quick. I know I made this video very long. It's the wrong one. But the point of these videos are to help each other out. Try to get better at this virtual learning. So here under classwork, if you want to contact me, these are my office hours. You can call me through my Google Voice. You can make a work order form or a request for me to contact you. You can take this survey to let me know what exactly it is you need help with. And I've already put up some tutorials here. I already put up how-to videos. Some of them I have made, some of them I've gotten online. Here's some Google Basics and other extensions that you need. I also put out a template for breakout rooms. I know a lot of teachers have been asking about breakout rooms. You can use this template as well. That way, and here's the template. That way you can have a breakout room session with your students. Just watch the video on how to do it. Video is right here, and this is the template that we're using with the tech support. Here are some of the instructions and some more recommendations of what you should use when creating breakout rooms. So I know this video is probably going to be like 30 minutes too. Hopefully not an hour, but it's going to be long. So hopefully I don't bore you all too much. If you like it, please leave a thumbs up on my YouTube channel, and that way I know if it's good or bad. And thank you, and have a great day.